Have you ever had an interest in jumping on a plane, traveling to a remote corner of the world, and committing yourself to serve the needs of others less fortunate than you? Has the calling of international humanitarian work been resting on your heart for some time now? If the answer is yes, I'll tell you you're not alone. And I'll ask you, what are you doing about it? It seems that every day I talk to people who tell me that this is their greatest aspiration in life. They tell me that this would bring purpose and fulfillment to them. They tell me that the idea of serving impoverished brothers and sisters in Africa or South America or wherever sounds like the coolest thing that they could imagine doing. Well, I'm here today to tell you two things. Number one, international service is something that is completely attainable for you. There are thousands just like you every year who step into their dreams to volunteer overseas. Number two, most of these people have great intentions and noble goals, just to find themselves in the wrong programs, paying a service provider huge fees, and doing work like painting a fence that they realize does not actually do anything to meet the needs of the children and families of the area. This is a little girl named Mariel. She lives in western Kenya, right on the edge of Lake Victoria. I know her and her family personally. Mariel lives in poverty. For her, despite how adorable she is, daily life is a struggle for survival. Mariel's life could be transformed by an international volunteer able to develop a relationship with her and her school and support her in learning to read and write. Her life could be transformed by a volunteer who helps her mom understand how to better provide for her nutritional needs, or from a volunteer who could work with her dad to help to make sure that he had a profitable business plan for his little subsistence enterprise. And there are millions of beautiful kids just like her in Africa and many other developing areas of the world. You could be the one to connect to her, love her, and support her and her community in improving their quality of life. But considering how many people just like you set out with the same intent and fall short, according to the statistics, you will most likely either never make the decision to step out of your life and actually travel overseas to serve her, or if you do decide to serve as an international volunteer, you will likely find yourself providing meaningless labor on some project that was created not to benefit the community, but to give an excited volunteer something to do. I'm going to take a guess here and assume that neither of those options sound very good to you. How can you beat these odds and actually make the decision to serve and get prepared for and connected to the right service programs? Well, that's exactly what I want to share with you. About 5 years ago, I was pretty much in the same position. I had the same interests and the same concerns. Time, money, will I really make a difference? I wanted to get involved with international service, but I didn't have a clue where to start. Over the next 3 years, I worked and worked to figure out the answers to these questions so that I could make a meaningful contribution in the lives of other members of my human family living in extreme poverty, while also seeking my own personal transformation. After 8 trips to Africa, and not only doing volunteer service, but also training other volunteers and leading service programs, I got all my questions figured out, and I want to share with you what I learned. Gandhi said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." I completely agree with this, and have seen the transformational effect serving overseas can have on both the volunteer as well as the lives of those living in poverty. Let's overcome any of the uncertainty that may be keeping you from becoming an international volunteer. Let's create a clear path on how you can take steps immediately to get involved and begin to plan your trip, even if you don't know exactly when it will be. It's good for the heart for it to feel like you're listening. And let's do this all in a way that ensures that you will come back inspired and enthusiastic, having been a part of meaningful service. But most importantly, let's convert your passion into real impact. It's my hope that all passionate activists can properly prepare and get connected to the right service programs. In an effort to assist this, I have created a video educational product called Starter's Guide to Sustainable International Service. In this 4-segment series, I cover the process of looking within to determine what your real motives are and if you are really ready to commit to an international service opportunity. Next, we discuss the key questions that you need to ask yourself and the important information about the different types of service programs out there in order to select the right opportunity for you. In parts 3 and 4, we cover all the things that you need to do to prepare to travel internationally and serve effectively. Finally, I leave with you a resource document that connects you to some of the best databases of legitimate volunteer opportunities, as well as some of the best resources of additional information. And I've decided to give you the first video for free, which helps you take an authentic look at international service and if it's really what you want to do. If the answer is yes, and you like the first video, then you can pay $9 for the rest of the resources. I would love to be able to give you this whole thing at no cost, but the exciting thing about being able to sell this series is that I can continue to work full-time to create more and more education and training resources for people just like you. This means that as a community, we can become better and better at serving the world's poorest citizens and transforming ourselves in the process. Your purchase supports this critical effort. So go right now to www.sustainablevolunteer.info and place your email in the field on the right side of the screen to get access to the first education video immediately. At a time when we need to come together as a human family and global community in love and understanding, few things can usher that in better than connecting to and serving those living in other parts of the world. Paulo Coelho said, "It's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting." Do it for Mariel. I'll see you on the other side.